Awesome, guys. Well, thank you for having me. Like I told Kimberly, hopefully I'll live up to the hype. I know Coach Bob is an amazing coach. He's been in the ecosystem a long time. He's very well known in the ecosystem as a great coach. So hopefully I do a good job for you guys. What I'm going to teach you guys today is nothing new. It's nothing and maybe the technique's a little bit new. There's probably different renditions of it, but it's very simple and it doesn't cost you any money. I try to keep my clients' costs down as much as possible, right? Because we pay for enough systems. We get solicited by everybody in the world, especially when we go to the Success Summit next month, right? They're going to be 30 million vendors. They're going to want to sell something. So what I try to do is I try to keep costs down as much as possible, especially in a market like this where real estate's going to be it's a little more challenging, right? Not for all of us, but for some of us. So what I'm going to teach you all is just a little technique that I coach to. If you right now, I'm going to screen share the presentation. My presentation was made that I use this to train coaches, to train their clients. So you're going to see a lot of verbiage in there that's relating to coach. Just translate that over to your clients, okay? But I'm going to start it off. I'm going to screen share. If you guys have questions, feel free to raise your hand, and I'll definitely answer. But it's very simple, straight to the point. I'm probably going to take about maybe 20 minutes explaining it, and then I'll open up a Q&A, and then hopefully bring some value to you all. All right, guys. Can everybody see my screen? Awesome. So this is what I call keeping it local with your SOI. Tom teaches this or preaches about this all the time, right? How do we keep in front of our SOI? There's different strategies. People have newsletters. People do pop buys. People send out mass emails, mass text messages. This one, I want you guys to hear this. This one's made intentionally to be something manual. This is not to automate. There is an automation in here, but this is intentionally made to take a little bit more time so that you can deliver some value to your clients, but also have a conversation with them, to have a reason to have a conversation with them, right? Because who's heard this here? Hey, you should call your database and say, hello, my name's Rene. Don't forget I'm in real estate. I would love and appreciate referrals. What value does that deliver to your clients? Zero. So we're all about delivering value before we ask for anything in return, okay? So this was part of our 100K and 100 Days series that I taught with some of the coaches, but I'm going to skip down. A little bit about me, guys. I've been in real estate now 10 years. This was done, I made this last year. I've been in real estate 11 years now. I own a brokerage here in El Paso, Texas. It's a boutique, locally owned and operated brokerage. Excuse me, sorry, there's a fly trying to attack me. My company's called Home Guide Real Estate. We're at about 50 agents now, so it's not the little boutique brokerage anymore. We're gonna get to about 100 within the next 6 months. I'm married. I have 4 kids and a wife. I've been with Tom Ferry over 2 years now. And a fun fact about me is I love the Minnesota Vikings. I'm from Texas and El Paso, but that's the team I chose, and I stick by that. And I'm probably the #1 Viking fan here in El Paso. All right, guys. Again, guys, if you have questions along the way, feel free to raise your hand. So here's the thing, guys. Show of hands here. I'm going to ask for participation. Can you guys say with 100%, without a doubt, that you guys are doing everything possible to reach out to your database and SOI? Show of hands, say yes. I'm willing to bet is because either we feel like we're being too pushy or too salesy, right? This right here is going to help you avoid that, okay? What do we preach here in Tom Ferry? Be the mayor of your town, reach out to your SOI, add value before asking for business. Adding value without hurting your wallet. That's what I'm going to teach you here, like I said in the beginning of the presentation. This is meant to be a personal touch. I know we like to help our clients set up automations, right? And by clients, I mean you all coaching clients, but this is intentionally meant to be done manually for the most part. By the way, I'm going to send this to Bob because it has some scripts on here that you guys might want to use if you do implement this in your business. You want to automate emails, but I'm going to show you the process here at some point. Here's what we're going to do, guys. If you guys haven't done this already, this is very simple. We're going to create a local vendor service provider list, okay? And I'm going to tell you about some of the ideas or examples of who to add to this list. Step 1 is start simple. Just get a list of 10 for now. Every month you can increase how many people are on this list, but just start with 10 for now. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't overthink it, right? How to present this to clients is step 2. I'm going to show you how to present it, and also the service providers, the vendors, okay? And then step 3, how to frame this and what to avoid, because there's some things we want to avoid with this. Okay, step 1, Who to add? Home service providers, general contractors, licensed specialists, yard cleaner, pool specialists. For example, I always give my clients this: get a general contractor, get a roofer, an HVAC specialist, an electrician, a plumber, landscaper, yard maintenance, a cleaning service person, a pool cleaner, an insurance agent, so on and so forth. If you have septic in your area, a septic service provider, right? So something that's hyper local to your area that your clients are using on a consistent base. Right now in Texas, if you're in Texas, for the most part, it's super hot. You want to get with an HVAC specialist, right? Because a lot of our ACs are going out here. All right, step two right here. How to make the list. Guys, I'm a guy, I'm a dude. I do not make things pretty. So if you're looking at my example right now, it's very cut and standard. It's nothing beautiful besides my little photo at the bottom of the screen. But all it is just information of the company, their email address, their address, and the good phone number to reach them. You can get fancy with this, and you can add promos in here. You could put logos in here. You could put hyperlinks to their website in here, right? So you can get as fancy as possible. I just did it simple just for illustration purposes here. You guys can use Canva, you can use Google Forms, you can use PowerPoint. However you guys want to do it, you can. But we're going to make a list out of PDFs that we can send off in automatic emails at some point, okay? Everybody following? Am I going too fast or we're good? Cool. List is made. So we're going to start with our 10 people. If you have more, that's great. Some of you may already have a list, but maybe you're not doing it in this way. So list is made. Now what? Now here's where we want to reach out to our SOI, our database, our past clients. I've had clients that use this also for people to walk in open house to get their information. Hey, by the way, I know you said you're not on the market now, but I send this off to my clients once a month, and it's just service providers that may help you. You said you might want to sell your home in the next 12 months or 6 months. You may want to look at this list because there might be service providers that are going to help you get your home ready for a listing, right? So here's what you're going to do. You're going to reach out on a phone call to your database and SOI. This might be a little time consuming depending on your database, but again, this was intentionally made so that you have a reason to give them a call, right? This is a personal touch, okay? Here's what to say, and I'm going to put a script on here on the next slide. Here's what to say. Introduction, small talk, right? Hey, Bob, how are you? How's the family? How's this? Hey, Bob, I heard you were sick. How is that going? Are you feeling better, right? Just small talk, catch up. And then what you're going to do is you're going to explain that you're going to be sending out this once a month. You're going to verify, re-verify their email address, right? Let them know you'll be sending off monthly, and then you're going to be reaching out to them monthly to make sure it didn't hit their spam, okay? So here's the script that I put together, and feel free to R&D it, feel free to make it your own, but basically here's the script. Hey, Bob, small talk. Hey, Bob, so I'm reaching out because I started this local list of service providers. I'm not calling it a vendor list, guys. I know you and I could say that, right? Because we know what this is, but I don't want to make it super corporate or robotic. I want to make this very natural, okay? So I'm going to say, hey, so I'm sending out this local list of service providers that I've had a good experience with, or somebody I know has had a good experience with, right? So you want to watch that wording. I want to make sure I send it to you as well. We love to support local. These people are local. So hopefully one day this list serves you as value if you ever need it. I'll send it off once a month. And what we're always looking to do is add good service providers. So if you know anybody that we should add to this list, please let me know. By the way, is this still your good email address? Great. Awesome. Hey, I'll be sending this once a month, only one time. I'll make sure to reach out once I send it every month to make sure it didn't hit your spam. Everybody good? Following that? Pretty easy script, right? Nothing crazy. Again, right here on the bottom, feel free to modify the script however you want. Before you send off the list, call the vendors you're putting on that list as well. Okay? So if Bob is a contractor, Bob the builder, right? I'm calling Bob. I'm going to say, hey, Bob, it's Rene. We've worked a lot of deals together. Hey, I put together this local guide for my clients and everybody that I know. I'm going to add you on there. Is that okay, Bob? Bob's going to say yes. And I'm going to say, hey, there's no catch. It's free. I'm just trying to stay in front of my clients. Hopefully it brings you some value, Bob. Hopefully it brings you some business. Is that cool? Bob's going to say yes. I'm going to say, do you have any promos that you want me to add in there? Yes or no? Great. Okay, Bob, I'm going to put you on the list, right? And then I'm going to say, hey, Bob, by the way, I'm going to call you monthly just to ensure that I could send your information off on this list or to see if anything's changed, address, phone number, email. So I'll call you monthly. Guys, what is that going to do? So if anybody wants to unmute, what is this doing already? What is this doing? Why am I calling the vendors? What's the reason for that?
We're strengthening our relationship with them, so we become top of mind for them when they're considering who like their clients that they're working for. Obviously, most of the time are considering selling to some degree.
100%. They're meeting people daily that we haven't met. If you're going to be an advocate of them sending off this list to everybody you know, they're probably going to be an advocate of you, especially if you're calling them once a month. And then when they start seeing the return of clients coming their way because of the simple list, they're going to be in your corner sending you referrals as well. Right? So moving on.
There's an added bonus, Rene.
100%.
No, the added bonus is if you decide to do a flip, these guys are all into you. Like they're giving you the best deal ever.
100%. 100. You're absolutely right, Tony. Tony, correct? Awesome. So yeah, so 100%. I had a client start this within their first 2 weeks. They started this. They had vendors. They had 2 referrals got sent to them by vendors. Now results may vary, of course, right? Everything's different in real estate, and every area is different. But 2 referrals off this free, simple technique that they use just to add some value to the clients and also the vendors. Here's what I want to emphasize, guys. These are the things you want to avoid, okay? More than anything, you want to avoid this. Avoid using the words refer and recommend. Those are bad words in our industry because you might have had a good experience with, but how many times do you guys have a good experience with a contractor and then you send them over to somebody else and then somebody had a horrible experience with them? So you got to be very, very, very specific on your wording. As you guys saw in the script before, it said, I've had a good experience with, or somebody we know has had a good experience with them, right? Results may vary. You may even put that at the bottom of that list, right? Results may vary. This is not an affiliated partner. Just a little disclaimer there.
I do, Rene, put on my list a little disclaimer at the bottom. Past performance is not indicative of future performance, so that people know that one experience might be great, but so that they can kind of keep that in mind, and it kind of protects me. Yeah,
100%. And I would say you guys should put a disclaimer in there, just in the event the client comes back later on and says, Kimberly, that pool cleaner was the worst. My pool looks dirtier than before, right? I can't believe you recommended them. And then you're going to say, hold on, Bob, look at the list I sent you. There's a disclaimer on the bottom. If you didn't read that, I just want you to make sure you read that disclaimer next time, right?
but when they give me good feedback, it also lets me know I need to investigate. Some people won't tell you if they've had a bad experience. They'll just kind of have that in their mind. But I always encourage people to let me know how it turns out. Since I am recommending these people, I want to make sure that they're still up to the level I expect. So
100%, right? And like you're saying, Kimberly, if you guys find that the service provider starts getting a bad rep amongst your clients, you probably want to remove them from that list, right? Because you don't want that. You don't want to be associated with a bad reputation. So avoid the words refer, recommend. Okay, guys. Again, I told you I'd blow through this pretty quick, right? I said I'd probably be about 20 minutes. I'm 15 minutes in. There's nothing crazy fancy to this. You can get fancier with this. I'll give you guys some examples. When I first started doing this, I just did the basic piece of paper, PDF that I would send out to the clients. Nothing fancy about it. What I started doing eventually was I ended up buying little key tags, and it said El Paso local guide, and I would give it off to my past clients as a gift, and I would have different promos for my service providers on a list that I would send them, and the service providers would only give a discount if they had that little key tag that I gave the clients. So it was almost like a membership for free because they were my clients. It was a gift that kept on giving. Now I've stepped out of, I'm still in production. I'm not in production as much as I used to be. I do more of the mentorship and running a brokerage. But when I was still a solo agent, I was doing that at a pretty high level, and people loved it. People love to be part of a membership. It was a simple little key tag. It was metal. I think I bought it on pens.com, I believe. And I bought like 500 for, I think, like 150 bucks. People also tie this to their website. You can have the list of service providers on your website, and you could send a link off every month to your clients and let them know, hey, we just updated our link. There's more service providers on there. By the way, there's also a promo. You could do this with restaurants in your area as well, right? You can have local restaurants, locally owned and operated, where you could tie them into this list as well once you get there as far as after service providers. And then you can ask the restaurants, hey, throw a promo in here for us. Maybe a free appetizer with an adult purchase, or like get creative with it, get fancy. Because here's a way where you can be the actual local expert in your area, and you could be the person that everybody goes to because you're providing that much value to your vendors in your area as well. Does that make sense? Any feedback, guys? Any comments? Anything creative that you thought of when I was talking about this that you could implement in your business? But well, real quick, show of hands. Is anybody implementing anything like this right now?
I've done that in the past.
Why'd you stop?
Well, I did. Oh, you go. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kim. Or was I reverbing? All right. Well, anyway, I did it for an event. We have a Pink Witches event. So I did something like this where I went to all the vendors and I made like a little wooden nickel. So anybody that brought the wooden nickel into this shop got a certain percentage off. And then on the back of the wooden nickel, there was a QR code that brought them to my website that had all the discounts on it.
Awesome. So you're not doing that anymore?
I haven't been doing it. It was a lot of work and it didn't work out as well as I had hoped. Right? People weren't really turning the wooden nickels in and I didn't get a whole bunch of hits off of it. So it wasn't, the time invested it didn't work out for me, that specific thing. But I like what you're doing here. And I think I convert it and do something similar.
Yeah. And this this process is very simple. It doesn't cost you a whole bunch. Maybe you buy MailChimp or Constant Contact to maybe to email blast it, but that's about it. I'm sure you guys are probably using like that, something like that already. But yeah, it's free.
Back in the first quarter, it was my reason for calling my center of influence. And my statement to them was, after the small talk, did you do anything to your house in 2023? And if so, what did you do? Who did you use? Well, how did you like their service? And if it was good, who did you use? And I was able to get additional vendors that I did not know about through that.
Oh wow, that's a pretty cool technique. Go ahead.
Some of the people that I called were people. Now, if I called and got their voicemail, I would also send them a text. And some of these people were people I haven't talked with in a little bit longer than I want to admit to. And or they were not acknowledging me when I sent them or asked them anything, but I did get responses back with what they did and who they used.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, and you guys can get creative with this also. Like I mentioned earlier, like if you sit open house, right? Which, if you're in real estate, you're sitting open house for the most part, right? Or you should be, if your business is not where you want it to be. I've converted people into sellers with this technique, right? We have small talk, we chit chat. They say they're not ready yet. They need a property to sell, but they would need to sell in 6 months, but they got to do renovations. And then I said, hey, let me add you to this list that I send off every month, but I'll send it to you right now. There's some really good service providers that we've had a good experience with, right? That might be able to help service the things you might want to be doing for your property to get it ready to list. And I converted that into a sell and a buy. And it was another way for me to capture their information, their real information at open house, because I provided value and I earned the opportunity to get their correct information at that point, right? I have a client that puts a ISO, like a stand, like a painting stand, right? They put that at their open house with a QR code and says, scan here for a local guide. And they capture information.
That's
right. So
idea.
yeah, there's so many ways to get creative with this. This is a very simple technique that I promise you guys, I am nowhere near as tech savvy as Bob. Bob's teaching and how he does Google and all the things that Bob does. I'm not that guy. I'm like, keep it simple, stupid is me all day. That's me, right? So this is a very simple way to get in front of your SOI without being pitchy or salesy, because who sends out market reports? Show of hands. Market reports are great. but not everybody opens them if they're not transacting at that moment in time. This might bring additional eyeballs and additional relevancy, right? Stay top of mind for your clients by adding just a little bit of possible value. Guys, I'll open up to you if you guys have questions, any comments, anything you're thinking of you want to share with the group. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, my first thought is I want to take your list and make it a map.
Make it what?
Make it a map.
Oh,
Put all
that's
the pins
pretty good too.
Put on the pins on the map of your vendors.
Hmm.
And that way people can see, oh, here's how they cover. See, he covers all of El Paso. He's got people all over, and here's the vendors. And that way it's not a piece of collateral you hand out. It's something electronic they can go get to.
That's,
And then
that's a really good
like
idea.
have reneslist.com. They just go to that and it goes to the map.
That's a super cool idea. I'm going to steal that,
Call
Bob.
me.
I'm writing that down
Call
right
me.
now.
Call me.
Yeah.
I got you. But it's also a way to, like, if somebody, falls off the list, you don't have to go reprint anything to take him off or her off. You just snap them off of there. Plus, it'll
100%.
also show the ratings. Let's say you put, Steve the plumber on there. Steve the plumber's Google ratings will show up on there. See, Steve the plumber really is a 5-star amazing plumber.
This is Michelle Salyer.
Yeah, 100%. I've had people turn this into
Hold on, let me make
magazines.
sure I'm on
Hold on
mute
just a
before-
second. Michelle, I'm going to mute you. Okay, keep going.
I was just gonna say I've had people turn this into magazines. The only issue I saw with the magazines, kind of like what you mentioned right now, Bob. What happens if you need to remove them? That's
Exactly.
permanent paper, right? So you
You
could
take a
make fancy
marker and you
magazines.
scrub them off of there. Yeah.
Any other feedback, guys? Anything that you think that you want to share with the group that might be creative that you're going to implement?
I love the fact that you gave me a few ideas that I'm going to incorporate in my already existing list. Because I give a list to my new buyers who've just moved into a house at settlement. So they have, they need to do anything. But the fact that I want to expand it, and I like Bob's idea of putting it mapped on my website, but I just don't want my website searchable so anybody can get there. I want to be able to direct people there specifically. So I got to work on that one.
Yeah, 100%. And again, guys, after you make that first initial call, when you first start doing this, every month, just a text after you send it. Hey, Kimberly, hope all is well. Just sent the vendor list again, or the local guide list. Just want to make sure they hit your spam. Have a great day. Let me know if you have questions. It's just a simple touch.
When you send that text, hey, I've added 2 new people. Go check them out.
100%.
I've added 3 new people. Hey, I added this great new vet I found. By the way, I'd like to introduce the idea. Maybe you said this and I just missed it. This is not just about things to do to your house. This may also be this great new restaurant, or this emergency vet, or this place to get your nails did, whatever that you found. Not just, plumbing and windows and siding.
And if you guys could get, like, who's the largest demographic of home buyers right now? What's the demographic?
Millennials.
And millennials are crazy about their dogs. You should add
Yes.
something in here about, like, a dog watcher or a mobile groomer or something of that nature, because they will look at your list at that point. And if you know they're dog lovers, just say, hey, we have a really cool groomer in here. Or if you're going to go out of town, we have a dog nanny or something of that nature, right? Make it hyper local to your specific area and kind of your demographic.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, he's got my creative juices flowing. So forgot about pets. Every single millennial that I'm selling houses to have decided only pets, no kids. So
It drives me
that's
crazy,
huge.
Kimberly. I'm considered what's called an old millennial. It drives me crazy because I'm like, they're not your kid. Just they can stay home. You don't have to bring them everywhere you go.
Oh yeah, that's right. They come to showings and settlement.
My wife's brother had us dog watch, and he's a millennial. Had us dog watch a whole last week. Man, that kid is more spoiled than my youngest daughter. And I have 4 kids, and she's very spoiled. That dog would not leave us alone. Anyways, I kind of sidetracked. But guys, any other feedback, any questions, any comments? Again, I'm going to send this to Bob. That way you guys have a blueprint. Make it your own. Take it R&D. Make it more creative than I did. Again, I'm very simple. You guys can go and run with this and take off.
Rene, this is
Paul Frazier and St. Croix, you just gave me a bunch of ideas I'm running with, especially the restaurant thing with the promo and maybe a dessert or something. I'm a dessert guy, so
There you go.
we'll call a bunch of restaurant friends today.
Yeah, there you go.
Great presentation. The only hiccup is you're a Vikings fan. I'm a Bears fan, so we're gonna have fun connecting.
Oh man, you need to add me on social then, Walt, and that way we can talk crap to each other.
That's right. That's right. We're better this year, so watch out. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous this year. I think the NFC North's pretty solid. So,
That's right.
but guys, thank you so much for letting me present to you guys today. Again, I hope it brought some value, guys. It was quick, something very simple, guys. But we need to maximize as much as we can talking to our SOI, our database, and getting in front of them and staying relevant, because we all know this is not the COVID market anymore, right? It hasn't been for like a year or so now. And so we need to capitalize on every single opportunity we can and add some value. That way we are the trusted agent, trusted professional. But again, guys, thank you so much for letting me present. Bob, thanks for the invite. Again,
absolutely.
value.
Absolutely. Okay, everybody, let's thank Rene.
Thank you, Renee.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you, guys. I'll be at Success Summit. Hopefully I see some of you out there. Bob, are you going to Success Summit?
I'm kind of on the bubble this year. I had the opportunity, hopefully, to move to the UK, and that would be the week that I would move. So,
Oh, wow.
And I've talked to Mary Jett about it, and that's, we can talk about that offline. But
Okay.
but yeah, I want to go, but
Possible.
that may be the week that I sneak across the pond while everybody's busy. So,
Gotcha.
and everybody here knows my plan and my scheme, and they're like all in with me. So we're gonna put the recording will end up on our private Team Bob YouTube. We can watch it again if you want to see it. I'll get the slides. We'll send them out in the Team Bob email that you should get on Sundays. And I'm sure all of you are reading it verbatim. Thank you for that. And I will talk to you all soon. Thank you so much.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.